Lycan is one of the most successful heroes in high-level pub games, and it's been the case before patch 7.24, and in 7.24 we got some significant buffs, so he's even stronger now. He's in fact currently the highest win rate hero on Proto Tracker, which is kind of misleading because he's not played very much. He's more a hero that fits well into specific games, but in those games he's very strong. So here we're going to see how Sylar plays the hero in a somewhat unusual way.
My holiness deepens.
Welcome to the Church of Obelisk. So the first thing unusually that he does is that he goes out here very late. I usually want to be out there a bit earlier, resummon those wolves a bit quicker. So you want to summon them in the fountain at the start, so you don't spend the mana, you regenerate the mana right away again. And then you send them out for scouting, which you did. But then usually you want to resummon when you can, and just head out like 10 seconds earlier, because it's not going to be early enough to actually contest the rune. So he tries to deny this rune with the wolf, but of course he always is slower than a hero picking up the rune. So no runes for our wolf boy. Rather we're going to see this Lycan queue up a drum. That is, he's not going for Dominator in this game, he's going for drum right away. You might think this is because of Doom, because Doom can eat those creeps, and it's a bit awkward, but actually Sylar has been playing a couple of Lycan games recently. I've seen 4 recent Lycan games of his, and he's gone for drum every time. He's always skipped Dominator, so this is apparently just his standard build. And we're going to see in the course of this game why this build can be quite strong. But as of right now in the lane, you're just last hitting with wolves. Don't be afraid of losing wolves. If you lose wolves, it's not the biggest deal. Like, these give 21 gold and 20 XP. That's not that much. It's like half a melee creep roughly, or a third of a range creep. So if the enemy can get a kill on a wolf here or there, it's not too important. More importantly, it's just having those wolves to assist you in laning and fighting in lane. Like, if the Doom wants to eat those wolves, that's fine. That means he's not eating those lane grips, which actually would give him more gold. Of course, wolves are sort of extra on top of the lane grips because they die anyway. But so it's not a big deal that Doom is eating those wolves. You can see Lycan is doing reasonably in terms of last hits. He's even with the Doom, has 1 more deny. Lycan is not the strongest laner, so as long as you're even here, you're pretty much fine. By the way, in case you're wondering why they're playing so many kind of unusual heroes in these games, this is a Chinese pub game, and the Chinese typically play random drafts, so they have much lower hero pool available. Right now he's waiting for his level 2 wolves, not resummoning them. Of course, that's very smart, and now he's level 2 and he resummons the wolves. And the goal in this lane is just to last hit, deny, and get your golden experience. You don't really want to fight too much here, but Grimstroke thinks otherwise, and now they're going on this Pugna, trying to get this kill, but of course they have lack of real disable. So Grimstroke gets run down and dies, and now Lycan is also on the run. And they in fact feed a double kill to this Doom. He also gets forced on the wolves, so things are not looking too good right now after this little exchange. They're back in lane now, and this Doom seems to be on his own, so they're going for him. Very smart, of course. Doom has not very much armor. He spot this buckler now to remedy the situation, but in general just not very much armor on this Doom. So they go for him. They also get the courier and as well as the kill, so that's really nice. Nice recovery from that failed fight earlier. It is important in lane not to get discouraged. Just because you lost one fight doesn't mean you're going to lose the next one, and especially in a situation like that where you're 2-on-1, you can definitely make things happen. But now Lycan is 1-2, so they go on him, and he's taking a lot of damage here, but he's now in the cover of his own tower. He can still use his wolves here, and try to go for a turnaround, but Lycan is too low. Party at the bot lane right now. 3 people on both sides here, and as Lycan you don't really want to play that. If you're level 6, sure you can take a fight here, but he's level 5 now, So Lycan is just going to go to the jungle. If you're level 5, it's perfectly fine to jungle, and you just let this Wyvern soak some XP. So drum is complete, but it's just going to do some more jungling. He needs to get level 6, and the game plan on Lycan is very simple. You get level 6, you go take a fight, try to get a kill, maybe take an objective if you can. Then you go back to farming, wait for your ultimate to come back up again. Then you go for another fight, take an objective, go back to farming, rinse and repeat. You notice he's not getting boots. This is very deliberate. He wants to go for this Necro as fast as possible. And boots are not that important on the Lycan because you get this more than max movement speed anyway from Shapeshift. So as long as you have your ultimate up, boots are irrelevant, and when you don't have your ultimate up, you can't really do much fighting anyway. Now he has his ultimate, and he goes in, has his drums here, and they go for this Legion commander, who gets away. That's a bit unfortunate, but he's trying to find something more. And precisely this kind of situation is why it's very important as Lycan to have enough disabling in the team. Also loses his courier there, that's a bit sloppy here, flying behind the tower. So as Lycan you want to do as much damage as possible during a shapeshift. It's not a very long duration, only 18 seconds without the talent. So you need to make those 18 seconds count, and for that you can't just be running after people. Even though you're very fast, if they're running away you're still not doing much damage. You need them to actually be slowed or ideally stunned. So what changed for Lycan in 7.24? First of all, he got +4 base int, which is quite important. It means that his mana pool is a lot less strained. And you saw him not really getting any sort of mangoes or anything like that. And still he really had mana for his wolves. And that 4 base int does make a big difference. Also, the transformation time from Shapeshift was reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1.25. It's also quite important. Because as you can see, it still takes like quite a long time to transform, but it's a little bit quicker than it used to be. Now just go for the soft targets. That Shadow Demon is a good target. Down he goes. Also courier here, that's free. And now, yeah, the 2 supports are dead. Loom is also dead, but this Legion Commander is not going to be easy to catch. Battery does have less of those, so they managed to get him, and that is another kill. This is the kinds of fights you want as Lycan, and of course in these fights, drums is so strong. And without drums, that fight would be quite a bit harder. Now the indirect buff for Lycan is that Necro was buffed, now gives more mana regen than used to, which is again making it a bit easier for your mana pool. Another even more indirect buff for Lycan is that many of the right-click items were nerfed. Like Dominator was nerfed, they nerfed Maelstrom, they nerfed Radiance. But as Lycan, you don't want to build those items, you want to do damage with your creeps. So it's also like a very indirect buff to Lycan. So why this drum build? Why not go for Dominator? Well, one problem with Dominator is that it gives you a damage aura, which of course stacks with the Feral Impulse aura, but it just adds damage onto even more damage. Rather, what you want to do if you have a damage aura is you want to get attack speed, and that's precisely what drums gives you. Drum gives you 20 attack speed as a basic aura, and then another 35 with the active, and so that makes these early game fights so much stronger. Like, just do so much more damage with this drums active, and they win here another fight, but they can't really go into this tower. In these kinds of mid-game fights, drum is very, very strong, and probably even stronger than Dominator. Especially because drum is just like easier and more straightforward to use. You don't need to go and find a particular creep or anything like that. It's just always there, and as long as you have those charges, it's just an incredibly potent teamfight item. And if you look at the win rate of Lycan across different brackets, one thing that stands out is that he's really bad in low MMR games and really strong in high MMR games. And part of the reason, of course, is that low MMR players are not that good at microing. But another big reason is that people in high MMR games are a lot better at actually ending games. Lycan is like really strong at around like the 15 to 25 minute mark. This is where it really shines, and after that it starts falling off. And if you have a team who knows how to press an advantage, you can often end games in 20 minutes, whereas in those lower level games people just are a lot more passive. They just want to farm those neutral creeps. They don't really know when they can go high ground, so they're sort of intimidated by the concept, and they just sort of drag out games, and they're just not as decisive. So games just often just go a lot longer, and in those longer games Lycan is weaker. And one of the tools of ending a game early is an item like drums. It has this limited charge counter. Once the charges are gone, it's kind of a shit item, but before that it's godlike. So if you can end the game by the time your charges run out, or at least get a huge advantage, then you can easily win games that you couldn't otherwise. If you look at Sylar's recent games with Lycan, a lot of them are just around 20 minutes, and this one is going to be no exception. Go for another fight here. Easy kill, don't need the drum dodge for that, and that is the carry down, and you won the team fight. Now you go for an objective, and down goes the tower, and Doom is farming very aggressively here. Not sure what he's thinking here, and he pays with his life. So now there's another 30 seconds without Doom, and so Lycan can just continue pressuring this tower. Normally you wouldn't want to do this, but since there's still one person dead, and this team is just quite strong right now, you can get away with this. At least force out this cliff. And now it's back to farming. He doesn't care that the support is going on on here. Crimson survives barely, which is nice, but if he hadn't, would have been no big deal. As Lycan, you can't help him in that situation. Just have to farm and wait for your ultimate to come back up. Necro 3 is complete now, which is very important in this game. It can dispel Decrepify, which can be very annoying as a Lycan. Goes for the Shadow Demon here, and doesn't have to use his ultimate. So they trade 1 for 1, and that is that. PL goes in here very cheekily and tries to go for the Scrimstroke, so of course you pop your ultimate as Lycan and just go for that Phantom Lancer, punish him for his insolence, and down he almost goes, and he is dead. Alright, so they get those 2 kills. Trying to go for more in this Doom, but ultimate runs out and they're not gonna get him, but Bat Rider finds the Shadow Demon and he dies. They even go for this Doom. That's a nice thing about this lineup. They have this Storm Spirit also providing catch, which is quite valuable together with the Lycan. Now that everyone is dead, they go and push this tower. Unfortunately, Necro is gone, but still with the wolves, he still do a lot of damage. These wolves do normal damage, so they're quite strong in buildings. Of course, they have this nice attack speed from the drum and the bonus damage from your natural feral impulse. They get a tower now, and now I want to back off a little bit here. Jump is almost up, but not quite, so you don't really want to fight right now unless you have a favorable position. They see with their vision, see those 2 heroes kind of out of position. They go for it. Lycan has to be a bit careful here. Doesn't have his ultimate back up yet, but Legion Commander is kind of deep, and so they kill her, and now it's an easily 1 team fight. Go after this Phantom Lancer, and he's trying to go with Winter Wyvern, but doesn't get him, and from here the Dire just give up. They just stand in Fountain and don't defend. This drums build, is it better than Dominator build? I'm not sure. I think it's definitely something that's worth experimenting with if Dominator is still the right item, but my instinct would be that the Dominator is still generally the stronger item. Maybe you can go for Dominator and like a drums after Necro, because after Necro you have sort of this awkward phase where you're like really strong and then you're saving up for this AC, which is a 5k item. Maybe it would be stronger to go for Dominator, this Necro, and then go for drums for like a more immediate next timing. Maybe that's something worth considering, because I really love Dominator. It's my favorite item in the game. so I'm not really advocating skipping the item, but as you can see, as Sylar is demonstrating, it is definitely at least a viable choice. And of course it's like a bit more of an aggressive choice, and it's working out really well for Sylar. So give this build a try, subscribe to this channel for more content on Lycan, on Chen, Lone Druid, and various other micro heroes. I also have another game on my channel with Lycan played in the mid-roll, go check that out, and Obelisk building, I'll see you next time.